Okay, so I'm going to show you how to find standard deviation. We found the mean, median, mode, and range in the other video or earlier. And so I'm going to do the same example through the grades that I have. So I wrote them down here. We are going to need our average, and so we're going to need our mean, which I wrote was 6.7. We found that out earlier. This symbol is just a different way to represent your mean. And so what we're going to do first is you need to find the average, and you're going to subtract it from each data point. So this is our average, and we're going to subtract it from every single one of these. And so I gave you this nice chart that would help you organize your data for the things that you have to figure out. And so I would take 6.7 and I would subtract 5, and so I get this. I would actually get that number 3 times in a row because I have 3 5s. And then I would do 6.7 minus 6. And I would have that twice because I have 2 6s. Okay, now when you do this, you get 6.7. You're going to subtract 7. You're going to get a negative number. You're going to get negative 0.03, but I don't really care about the negatives. And so if you end up getting a negative answer, just write it as positive. So then I get 1.3, 1.3, 1.3, and 2.3. Okay, so that is the first step. I'm going to find the average, 6.7, subtract every single one of these data points, and I put it in the column. The second thing that you're going to do is you're going to square them. Okay, and so that's why I gave you this column. So now you're going to take 7 or 1.7 squared, and you're going to write your answer here. And so we end up 2.89. I will have the same thing for the next 3 because it's the same number. Then I would get 0.49. And I would do that all the way through. Okay, and then what I would do, my third step, is you need to find the average of those numbers that you just found. So I'm going to take all of these numbers, and I need to find the mean or the average of them. Okay, so we're going to add them all up, 2.89 plus 2.89 plus 2.89, whatever, and we're going to divide it by 10 in my case. Your case would be 20 because you will have 20 examples. Mine is just a smaller example, so I would do add them all up, divide by 10, and I would get 2.01. Okay, now the last step you would do to do standard deviation is you would square root that mean. And so I'm going to take the square root of 2.01. And what I end up getting in our standard deviation symbol kind of looks like that. We get 1.4177. And so that would be the standard deviation that I would put in that box. But what that is really doing, and what the whole point of standard deviation is, down here, if you look, you might have heard this before, like bell curve. And so what it's doing is it's putting words to your data. And so we have these type of words. We have usual, rare, and unusual. Okay, so does your grade fall into the usual category, unusual, or rare category? And so when you think about height and stuff, people that are 7 foot whatever are probably in the rare category because we don't see a lot of people that are 7'11" or whatever. So that helps us put words to our data. And so what you do is, to do this chart, and this is why I showed you the symbols, this is your average. And so in my grade example, I had 6.7. Okay, and so all of my data that falls between my standard deviation, one less than it and one greater than it. So 1.4177 was my standard deviation. So 6.7 plus 1.4177 would give me the 8.1177. And then I would also subtract that. So all the grades that fall between 5.2 and 8 are considered usual in that data. And we would go out to unusual and we would go out to rare is what we would do.